I had brought my phone charger, but that's okay. That's all right. Hopefully it doesn't die during the stream. Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. Hope you're having a lovely one out there. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful long song Saturday that it is today, even though it's technically a Sunday right now for me, Sunday morning, but a long song Saturday for you guys. And today we are going to do a full album listen of this band, The Sound, their 1981 second studio album, From the Lion's Mouth. I have never heard of The Sound, besides, of course, you guys recommending the band. But yeah, that's what we're going to listen to today. I'm excited to dive into it. Some of you that had recommended this are The Sound Like Chameleons, Nate Coz, or Nate Cause, not quite sure. If you're Nate Cause, is your brother's name Effect? Swing and a miss. All right. Also suggested by Raymond CPL. So thank you guys so much for the recommendation. Like I said, I've never heard of The Sound. Don't know a thing about them, but I see a lot of recommendations for this band are off of videos from like the Chameleons, Comsat Angels, Echo and the Bunnymen. So maybe something in that kind of range or genre or such. So I'm excited to dive into it. I think the album cover looks pretty interesting. Let me bring you guys up here so you can actually see what I'm seeing. Here's the album cover. I guess, instead of zooming in like this, I could like click on it and like, I'm sure like, do one of these right there. That's probably the better way to do that. Anyways, let me zoom myself back out. Yeah, so hope that you guys are having a lovely one out there. Hope you're ready to sit down, relax, enjoy a full album listen. I always hope that you guys like, I don't know, for myself, anytime I like the YouTubers that I watch, anytime they have like a long video, I always like settle down, like get something to drink, something to eat, and like just like this is the chill time. So I always hope that in respect to you guys that maybe you have something similar with longer videos like this. Anyways, before we dive into it, press the like button. So you can support the channel over on Patreon for as low as $2 a month. You don't have to, but you can. And otherwise, let's go ahead and dive right into the music. Hope you guys are really, really doing well. I'm excited to do this one. We have 10 songs to listen to, 10 songs to judge. One song is called Judgment. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the first song, which is called Winning. Wasn't that what was that guy's name? That actor, Tiger's Blood, Charlie Sheen. Isn't that like one of his phrases that he said during his, I don't know what year, 2016 or so, meltdown of sorts? Anyways, Winning, this cold glass of water is to you. Here we go. Especially when that dreamy guitar just starts to fill in the air. I know I say this a lot, but if the first track is anything to go off of, we may be in for a really good time. So the sound from at least, the sound of this, it's kind of like a post-punk dreamy-ish kind of sound reminiscent of The Cure, Joy Division, but like and I'm just contextualizing for myself, it's not as moody, at least this song, as The Cure. I'm sorry, as Joy Division. It's not as like depressing on this spectrum. It seems to be closer to The Cure's side, where there's these kind of rays of light here. I would say prominently displayed by the keyboards. The bum 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 bum. It's just kind of fun. Like it gives it a nice little bounce there. And then the guitars as well, when those come in, it has that very atmospheric, textural kind of sound that just kind of fills the air really nicely. There's a little bit of a solo on the back half, which I like how that solo isn't just a piece of atmosphere that fills the air. The solo gives us a little play. It doesn't shred. It doesn't like give us like 15 notes per second, but it plays more than just being a part in the background, which I really, really enjoy. Singing, I also really enjoyed. Singing is going to be done by Adrian Borland, who is also playing the guitar, actually, as a matter of fact. And I like his voice a lot. I mean, this is, to me, a really refreshing sound. It has the moodiness in some ways of Joy Division, but some of the melody and playfulness of The Cure. But while I'm comparing the band to those things, it still does sound kind of distinctly, as at least right now, the sound and who they are. I really like that track. This was a good opening track to the album, and possibly what you can expect as we move forward. What holds your hope together? Make sure it's strong enough. When you reach the end of your tether, it's because it wasn't strong enough. I was gonna drown, then I started swimming. I was going down, then I started winning. I love also how, like, the lyrics, they're not moody, they're not depressive. These are actually quite inspirational. I was going to drown, but then I started taking action. Then I started swimming. I was going to lose, I was going down, but then I started winning. When you're at the bottom, crawl back to the top. Something pulls you up and a voice says you can't stop. It won't let you stop. Winning, I'm winning, winning, I'm winning. So sometimes when you find that you're at your weakest moment, you can find an opportunity to make it your strongest moment in overcoming that. I really like these lyrics. They're straightforward, they're relatively simple, but they do have a nice message to them. I'm liking this so far. Let's move on to the next track here, which is going to be Sense of Purpose. Let's go. It's kind of a moodier bass line. That sprung into it. We may have a really good time here on our hands. Sense of Purpose comes in with a sense of purpose in what it's trying to set out and accomplish. I love how Adrian's vocals here are a little bit more on display, still playing more towards the sound of the music here, but of course, he's a little bit more outspoken, especially in the chorus on those last bits. So speaking of the last bits of the chorus, I really like how the drums, specifically the kick and the bass, turn up just a little bit more in there. Let's see, you're going to have bass from Graham Greene, and then drums are going to be performed by Michael Dudley. Like I said, it's like how they pull up the and then it goes back into what it was playing before. I also really like the guitar, once again, from Adrian, and how it accents some of those hits. And I keep on saying it, but it's kind of like, to me, like little fireworks in the music. Because especially in this song, like, it's just a chord being struck, but with those effects, whatever those effects may be, the echo, reverb, and whatever else is happening, that distortion on there, it kind of gives this little textural explosion. The way he kind of strikes it goes, then another way right after he kind of does it again. But yes, it's a different chord, but it also has a deeper kind of sound. It's just really cool, like playing with that resonation and how the sounds from the guitar kind of collide with each other. And the keyboards are doing a lot of that in tandem with that. That's going to be performed by Max Mayers on the keyboards. Just once again, really, really good song. And I like how catchy it is as well. It's just a good sound that they have. And I swear I'm not trying to say sound over and over. Just because of the name of the band. Let's look at the lyrics here. Look in my eyes, see the lust and the love. Look in my eyes when I'm talking to you. I'll take my life into my own hands. I'm the one that I will blame. I'm the one that understands. What are we going to do while we still got the strength to move? What are we going to do? I'm asking you. So if the song being called A Sense of Purpose, he's saying, look into my eyes, see the lust and love, I'll do anything. I'm the one that understands the purpose of this. So he's speaking as he has a sense of purpose. Now, what is the purpose? Is it this other person he's speaking to? Is he finding this purpose within himself? A call to arms, a call to use arms, a call to brains, a call to use brains, a call to heart, a call to have a heart, to have a sense of purpose again. So he's asking, let's use our arms, let's use our actions, let's use our brains, let's use our minds and our intelligence, let's use our heart, let's use our love, our emotions, and our feelings. Let's put this all together and have a sense of purpose again. So I think that this purpose is coming towards a more relationship building kind of purpose, whether this is a romantic one or elsewhere. Are we where we want to be? All wrapped up in our safety, comfort, and complacency. It hurts me so. Like in a relationship, you do want comfort. And there is a level of complacency, healthy complacency, that you want. But he's saying it hurts me. So there needs to be something else. Hence, as he says, a call to arms. There needs to be something extra. There needs to be some action, not just passivity. We're moving on to the next one. We're moving to the next track. Also, by the way, I'm coughing just a little bit. I'm not sick, but I just ran out in the cold, and it's let me see if I can pull up the temperature here for you guys. I guess I could just look it up here. Orlando temperature. It's cold outside right now. Right now it's 56 degrees. It was a little colder than that earlier, 48 apparently, which is cold for here. So I ran out. I was jogging outside in all the cold air. Anyways, in case you hear me coughing, let's move on to the next track, which is Contact the Fact. Here we go. That's menacing.
Contact you because I need you. What you want from me? Because I contact you because I need you.
I love that little bit of call and response at the very end. Not just because that serves as a nice little climactic outro with the rest of the instruments coming into full as well, but also because of the lyrics. You know, they're saying contact and then contact the fact. So I like how there's an actual contact between the band members in this particular part lyrically. Also, what I really love is that for a genre like, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm overly too wrong. For a genre like this, which a lot of it is seeped in repetition of certain things, right? When it comes to The Cure and Joy Division and apparently so far the sound, you know, there's a lot of repetition in the notes and in the bass lines, and you know what to expect after the first, verse and chorus for the most part, besides of course breaks and different things like that. But when it comes to repetition, if something's going to be repetitive, you need it to sound good as it's repetitive. And this, so far, track 3, I really like how they do have a diversity among their sound, but it's still homogenous in a way. You still know it's who they are, but there's, like, for example, Contact the Fact. The verse and the opening, to me, this is the moodiness, that darkness, especially the bass line, the rising cadence of the keyboard, and then starts over again with the next note. Is, like, that's really cool. And then the final one is allowed to actually fully fledged, become what it is. And then with that second note on the bass line, it's so deep, and like this is where they kind of sit down in front of the hearth. But once again, as it moves into the chorus, that brightness comes up from the guitar, from the keyboards, from the singing. And I just think that is a really great formula that they seemingly have quite packed down. Let's look at these lyrics. I almost clicked the wrong button. You mean the world, the real world to me. So watching you go is like watching a film in slow motion. Everything I touch turns to dust, and everyone I turn to turns on me. So there's a strong sense of wanting to trust, but, he's saying he basically gets betrayed. Strange the way we accept our lot living together. Strange the way we self-destruct dying together. All the beauty gets taken for granted. All the pain gets put in the way. Put in our way. So I always love when lyrics change, when they say something seemingly in a broad sense, but then the very next line they change one word to make it more direct. All the pain gets put in the way, general, broad. Then he says, put in our way. It's more personalized now. Contacts the fact I need it. Contact you because I need you. So contact, literally physical contact or emotional contact. Contact of any sort. It's just a relationship. He needs that. He's saying, he said, I need it. Then he changes it, like I just said, I need you. Take me out. You take me out of myself. You can take what you want from me because I know you. Hate it when I'm crazy. It's the side of love you never wanted to see. This need, this desire, but treading into an unhealthy desire and an unhealthy need. Make contact, contacts the fact. Make contact, contacts the fact. And the fact is, I need you, baby. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Skeletons. Will there be some xylophone in this one? Anytime I see a song with like bones or skeletons or something like that, I'm always expecting a xylophone. Like when you're watching like an old cartoon and they're playing on the ribs. All right, let's go. A little swingy kind of beat, huh? It's such a fun sound.
There's There's a gaping hole in the way we are, just broken bone. A frame to
Those hits. You're excited by the snare.
but don't give me up for dead.
I really like how this song turned up the pace. This one, excuse me, grew out of the murkiness of Contact the Fact into the except for the brighter chorus, but it really gave us like a nice strong rhythm, a faster paced song here. So fun. I love that break where his vocals kind of become like digitally. I don't know why I emphasize each syllable there. They're like broken up, and in the midst of that, just right before and a little bit during, there's some dissonant kind of sound. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but some sort of electronic effect or something. I'm assuming by keyboards. But there's something happening in the back there. And then on the other side, production-wise, there's a little guitar that's just kind of gently kind of keeping things moving along. But I like how that kind of changed the mood entirely. And I love that, like I said, that digital break in his voice that was happening there. That just sounded really, really cool. But like I said, the pace of this one sounds great. I was trying to show, like, during the song, what I meant with those firework moments, like during the hits on the snare, how the guitar would like pop up in there really nicely. Love the bass line and that particular kind of run that Graham is playing here. It's just, this is a fun album to listen to. I'm just having a good time sitting here and listening to it. You know, I said in the beginning, like, I hope that you guys, like, you know, enjoy sitting down and, like, whatever your particular long song Saturday ritual is, that you just sit down and, like, you know, chill with the album with me. I just sit here. I like just sitting here and chilling and listening to it on my own, obviously. But like, this is relaxing for me. I'm not like, yes, I'm making a video, but I guess like I'm really just sitting here and listening to an album, and talking about it. Like, you know, the point is, I'm getting to. Hopefully, everyone's as relaxed as I'm feeling right now. There's a gaping hole in the way we are, with nothing left or nothing to fill it up anymore. No flesh, no blood, just broken bone, a frame to hang our lives from. We're living like skeletons. So like a skeleton, of course, with no adornment of flesh, muscle, blood, nothing else. We're like skeletons, he says. Nothing around us. You know, we're living like skeletons. Like he says, a frame to hang our lives from. That's a really great line. Because I guess our lives and the way we live our lives and the experiences we have are the things that make up our flesh and our muscle and, you know, skin. Won't someone wake the dead in me? Won't someone shake the dust off me? Give me water, give me bread, but don't give me up for dead. Like, once again, he's asking for some sort of action to be done to him. You know, for someone to shake the dust off him. Someone to give him a life. We're living in like skeletons, feeling like skeletons. And then he repeats that, of course, at the end. And the bridge, like I said, here's where he kind of, you know, scatters those thoughts there. And I was trying to figure out how this breakup relates to the lyrics where he says, we're living like skeletons. Could this be symbolic of death? Like he can't get the words out? Or a skeleton doesn't, of course, have muscles, a tongue, or anything like that. It's just bones. So he can't speak and he's struggling since he's a skeleton, metaphorically. That's kind of where I was kind of leaning with that, but I'm not quite sure where that goes. And there wasn't any xylophone in it. I was kind of hoping for something, but that's okay. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. I'm not rattled. Let's go ahead and move on to the next track here on the final track of this side of the album, and that's going to be Judgment. Here we go. It kind of led in a little bit from Skeletons. Let me just back up here.
the moment of truth. Just what scared the light.
Rolling up.
I will push at the bars that
I like this part right here before the chorus.
motionless. I can't watch and wait.
So Judgment ends the first side of the album, and I think that Judgment is a great lesson when it comes to layering your music and eventually using that to catapult the music into a nice finale with a lot of layers, all those layers that you built. So Judgment is kind of like a moody, but not dark, but a moody, reflective kind of song. It seems like very self-reflective, but there's an I word I'm trying to think of, introspective. It seems like a more introspective song, at least at this point in the album, and I like how it's used as the final song for this side before you would flip it over. Well, 1981? Yeah, you still flip it over. Okay, when did the CD come out? If you're here, you know that I'm going to look up things. When did the CD come out? First CD came out in 1982. That's when CDs were made and available publicly. So this was released in 1980. Did I say 81? Yeah. So you'd flip this over. All right. So you see, you learned something. Anyways, Judgment. It's a great lesson in layering because it's very sparse to an extent for the sound, like that we've heard so far from the sound. It's sparse in that it's really a lot of vocals, drums, and bass. There's splashes of guitar. There's splashes of keyboard. But it's not until the chorus and then the following and subsequent verses that more is added. So at one point, in the second verse, the synth comes in just a little bit more. Then, of course, the guitar comes in a little bit more. The vocals from the chorus come in. And then I really like how the timpani is being played throughout this whole thing to kind of give it a little bit of a thundercloud in the back. But the thundercloud is way in the back. You can see it on the horizon, but it's way far in the distance. But then, of course, like any thundercloud, like any storm that's looming, it slowly comes forward, and before you know it, it's on top of you, and there's a rainstorm. And that's what's happening at the end of Judgment. All those layers that have been single-handedly added are now quickly and suddenly coming to fruition as a nice send-off and climax for this particular song inside of the album, which I think is really, really well done. How that was. It was like putting an onion together, layer by layer. That works. Anyways, lyrics. I still have my Google search when the CD came out. I can't tell it's now or never. If we don't act now, it could be now or never. I love that line there. The moment is near, the moment of truth, but just what scared the life out of you. You're so still, you're silent, motionless. I can't watch and wait just to pay the price of your judgment. I will push at the powers that be. I will pull you close to me. And if I fall, I go gracefully. No regrets, don't pour your pity on me. You're so still, are you so lame? I can't watch and wait just to take the blame for your judgment. So he's not going to sit there and wait. He's going to take action. Once again, a lot of this album seems to be talking about action as opposed to inaction and stillness, doing something, moving in some capacity. Can there really be someone up above me who judges me when my time is up? I can't believe that I'm not the one that I should trust. He's so still, silent, motionless, I can't watch and wait just to pay the price. He's so still, silent, motionless, I can't watch and wait just to pay the price of his judgment. So obviously there's a religious twist and angle to this. As he's talking about God, he says, he's so still, silent, motionless, I can't watch and wait. He's going to do something. He's going to take an active part. And he says, no regrets, don't pour your pity on me. You are so still, are you so lame? Just to take the blame on your judgment. He's going to live his life. He's going to do his thing. He's not going to worry about the judgment. Or he's saying he will worry about it and he will take some sort of action. I feel like this is a song, unless I'm missing something, that could go either in a religious way or in a religious way. I think you can kind of take this two ways. One, I want nothing to do with you, and you're motionless, you're not doing anything. I don't care about you. I'm doing my own thing. Or I need to take action and I need to do some action. I think that this could kind of go either way. And it's kind of, at least to me, it's kind of left up into interpretation. But either way, it's a good way to end this particular side of the album. Let's go ahead and move on to the next side of the album, which is going to be side B, in case you didn't know. Duh. Let's go ahead and move on, can't speak, to the next track, which is Fatal Flaw. Here we go. Little march beat.
Until I drag myself out of this vice. When you stand close to me,
Oh, that's scratchy. So with this particular track, we literally march into the second side of the album when we're given this marching band beat by Michael. And I really like how we're also given a cool drum switch up, which just sounds really cool how he switches off of that. He adds more to the marching beat as we go forward, but when he switches off, he gets into this really snappy kind of beat. I don't know, snappy kind of beat, which really just kind of reinvigorates that particular sound. Because to me, like a marching band beat, there's not a lot of like, sometimes, obviously this is not, I'm not meaning every single drum beat or every single type of marching band beat, but it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of movement in it. It's pretty militaristic and marching, like it's pretty much very, very samey throughout. But I like how that break, when he does that, it completely changes, and like I said, kind of reinvigorates the music at this point and changes the rhythm to kind of give it like, oh, there's a little bit of a movement here. There's a little bit of an energy here that's not found in that marching beat. But I do like how that enters the foray as we go. And then, of course, Michael gets to put in some fills around here. Like, there's a little bit more for him to do in this track. To be honest, this isn't my favorite track. I will say that this one is a little bit boring to me. It's just fatal flaw. It's kind of flawed to me. It doesn't have like anything really that I love. I love the drum groove and that break, but it's a little boring at this point in the album. Like, okay, we've heard this before. Let's get back to something kind of interesting. So as of right now, Fatal Flaw is the flaw track on the album. A Fatal Attraction, been growing away from the light, and I can't come back now until I drag myself out of this vice. Sense of distance when you stand next to me. I've made a strange disappearance, one that no one can see. So I like how this strange disappearance that no one can see is like an internal struggle, an internal disappearance. Like he's removing himself emotionally and mentally from the situation, even if he can't physically. You can't reach me anymore. Turn to face that fatal flaw. We all have weakness, moments that we can't contain. Right now, I'm all weakness. I'll make another retreat again. I like how he's not afraid to admit, yeah, we all have weak moments, but right now, I'm not having a weak moment. I'm just weak. Sense of distance when you stand close to me. I have a strange disappearance and no one can see. A fatal attraction, been growing away from the light. A fatal attraction, been growing away from the light. One thing, even if I don't love the music itself, I think that the lyrics are stellar. I really like this struggle, and he's like, I'm pulling away. Not physically, but emotionally, mentally, I'm pulling away from this. And I can't help it. And like I said, I like that he's not afraid to admit that. In music, lyrics, finding that vulnerability and not being afraid to express yourself with 100% honesty, I should say. Let's carry on into the next one, which is going to be Possession. Here we go.
Gotta be.
Love when the guitar and synth brighten everything.
There's a devil in me, trying to show his face. There's a God in me, wants to put me in my.
Love that track. Love the music. Love the lyrics. That one I like everything about. I like how it starts out somewhat questioning and passive, and then it eventually grows into just this big old outburst and climax. Like, that is really, really wonderful how that's done. I love the questioning that's done there. I love that little synth line that kind of weird. Then it goes back down. And then when the guitar springs up, it's so fantastic. When the guitar and the keys come in during the chorus, it's this little bright burst of light and vibrancy into the music that's just interjected there. Really, really nice. Like, this is a really fantastic song. I love the drumming at the end, especially. This has everything. This is an everything track. You got everything you're asking for and nothing more that you didn't want. There's a devil in me trying to show his face. There's a God in me wants to put me in my place. I've got to get a hold of myself. I've got to be in possession. How fantastic is that? There's a devil in me trying to show his face, trying to come up. There's a God in me who wants to put me in place. One wants to come up, one wants to bring you down. And then he's saying, I got to get a hold of myself. I ain't worried about you. I ain't worried about you. I need to be in control of myself. And in a sense, just in the first two lines, In a sense, he's possessed by these two entities. But he's saying, I've got to be in possession of myself. Not worried about y'all. Y'all can do your thing. But I got to take control for myself. I think that's awesome. There's a war being waged that'll never be won. It's the struggle for possession. I've got to get a hold of myself. And I've got to... and this part, when he says the bridge, but the chorus again or whatever, I like how this time you do have these lines sung by, I want to say, the other members in there. Or it could just be Adrian overdubbing. But either way, I like how that's responded there. And I've got to ask you, what do you want from me? You know, the deeper you cut, the less there's left of me. I've got to get a hold of myself. And, you know, now we've kind of seen two songs that seem to have somewhat religious themes, which work, you know, of course, with the, from the lion's mouth, you know, I don't know, Daniel, I think, lion's den, thrown down there. Lions are going to eat them. God said, nah, don't eat them. The lions were like, fine, but you got to feed us next time. Like, you know, I think that's, you know, there's a little bit of not a theme as a whole, but, you know, in a small way, perhaps as well. All right, let's move on to the next track here. It's a short one, which is going to be The Fire. Here we go.
I can't take the chance. I can't change a thing. Too fierce to contain.
Well, that track was like a literal musical flash in the pan in that... Don't you guys hate how, like, literal has now been, like, completely misused? Like, obviously it wasn't literally a flash. Anyways, it's musically a flash in the pan because it's the shortest track on the album, but it is definitely the most fierce. It is definitely the most fiery. All that pent-up aggression is now just pushed out in this track, in which everyone is going very, very much at 110 miles per hour. The guitar is fired when that's allowed to come up like flames, licking your face. The bass is rapid and deep and pulsating. The keys especially still providing a little bit of cool. The keys are I mean, they're going off too, but they're providing just a little bit of coolness to it. And then the drums, given a lot of room to play very fast, especially some of those quick flurries that are thrown out at the fills on the snare especially. Just a very fiery track, a very quick track to get out all of the aggression. Fell into the fire. I was led by the heart. Drawn towards the heat. Too fierce to contain. I mean, he's just saying, I fell into the fire. I was led by my heart. The heart is treacherous, and perhaps I got burned, but I'm too fierce to contain. I'm a willing victim of circumstance. He wasn't forced to do this. Like I said, he played with fire. And in this case, he got burned. I can't change a thing. I can't take the chance. Fire. Here repeats this part again. Drawn towards the heat, too fierce to contain. Fire. Listen, whatever the feeling was burning hot. In this case, that passion ended up burning back into his face. He was stoking the fires, and the wind blew, and the smoke got into his face, and he started choking and coughing. Don't you hate when that happens? Anyways, next track, which is going to be Silent Air. If the air doesn't make a sound, is it really there?
Finger on my lips. I know something lives on there. My lips.
Yeah, Silent Air is another kind of reflective, introspective track. And like I said, it feels much more in a positive way. This is almost paying homage to whoever this person is. Really quickly, I like how quiet this song was and how, I guess, reflective it just felt and sounded. You know, you still had, I guess what I was saying, like near the beginning of this reaction video, where you have that moodiness, you have that sound established from them. But this one sounds kind of enlightening, kind of like, you know, like a musical thank you to this person. I guess we might as well kind of do the lyrics in tandem with the music here on this one. Thunder in the air before a storm that rips. Anger in my heart, a finger on my lips. Before we move any further, I love that line. There's a storm brewing inside me. There's this fire that was talked about before. There's an anger in my heart, but all of a sudden, a finger on my lips. You showed me that silence that haunts this troubled world. You showed me that silence can speak louder than words. Words end in disaster on the rocks in pieces. I know something lives on there, but I can't say what it is. Thunder in the air, so I repeats that part again, actually. So I like that as this storm was brewing inside him, someone put their finger, metaphorically or literally, on his lips and said, no. Let your silence speak louder than words, especially words in anger or anything like that. Words end in disaster. If you're angry and you start using words, it may not go the right direction. On the rocks in pieces, like a ship, it will cause a shipwreck upon these rocks. I know something lives on there, but I can't say what it is. I just really like the sentiment in the song and in the lyrics, and the way that he sings it sounds like he actually feels that thankfulness. Like, man, whoever this person was really saved me from a shipwreck of a moment, whatever that, of course, may be. And he's carried on that life lesson for himself as he's moved on. We're moving into the final track here, which, okay, so here's the thing. It's New Dark Age, but everywhere I look, like on Wikipedia, and I've looked up like on Discogs as well, the song is 5 minutes and 49 seconds. However, Spotify has it listed as 10 minutes and 46 seconds. So I don't know, but I'm going to assume that this track has one of those hidden track kind of things, like maybe after 3 minutes of silence or something. I don't know for sure. I'm just taking a guess, but everywhere it says listed as 5 minutes and here it's 10 minutes. So if there's silence, I may skip around. I'm just saying, because I'm not going to sit around for minutes of silence. We'll see. We'll see what's happening. Or it could be an extended mix for all I know.
The dogs are howling on the street outside, so they close the curtains, hope they go away. Power of authority to exact its will. Here it comes. A new light.
Let's see what happens for the next 5 minutes. If it's silence, then I may end up skipping around. If something happens soon. Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to talk about the song, and if it comes up or something comes up like a hidden track, then that's what we'll do. Okay. Oh, hold on. My phone keeps on. Hold on. I know it shows that it's playing. It's because my phone keeps on like taking over Spotify. I don't know why, because it's not even like open here. And it's like not play. Okay, let me go back here really quick. I just want to make sure it's playing from here. Okay, there's the ending. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. My phone keeps on. Let me turn off my phone. Let's do that. I just want to make sure I'm not missing something. But I don't hear anything. We did get it here. So is it just silence then? I'm skipping around now. Now we're skipping. There. I knew there was a hidden track of something. See? Come on. There you go. All right.
Jungle vines that creep and spread.
There had to be, see, I knew there had to be something either hidden or hopefully not just silence. Okay, I don't have lyrics for that final piece of this because it ended with the lyrics that we saw here on Dark Age. But either way, the final part, that hidden track there, was like a very fun, energetic way to end the album. I'm sorry I don't have like lyrics for it or anything, but it was a fun little hidden track. You know, what was it? 3 minutes after the end of, or 2 minutes after the end of New Dark Age. Now, New Dark Age was a cool conclusion. You get to me the best of both worlds on that track. You got the more up-tempo, upbeat, you know, post-punk sound that we've had at the heart of this whole album in the chorus, but then you have something a little bit more epic, a little bit more brooding, as described, that dark age, which, as they mentioned, is coming. It's coming. And that was really, really cool and very well done. Actually, the hidden track is making me think of something. It's called the New Dark Age. And you have that brooding sound. You have the timpanis playing in the back below, like a kind of sparse drum beat. And then, of course, the chorus comes up. It's much more bright. Then it goes back down. And then at the end, let me pull up the lyrics here real quick. At the end, he says, here it comes, the New Dark Age. And then you have silence. But at the end of that silence, at the end of that dark age, there's something bright and beautiful right around the corner with that hidden track. So this could be, in a sense, their little breaking of the fourth wall. Like, you know, after, what's the phrase? What's the phrase? After the darkest of nights, what's that phrase, guys? After the darkest nights, the brightest sunrise. I can't remember the phrase, but you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. Either way, that's a cool track. If I'm kind of getting what they're putting down, at least with that and the hidden track there, which I couldn't quite understand what he was saying. We're in the hot house now or something. No idea what that meant. But New Dark Age was a really cool track to listen to. A nice epic conclusion here to the album. In the darkest times, darkest fears are heard, and from the safest places come the bravest words. Some make a quiet life to keep this scared old world at bay. The dogs are howling on the street outside, so they close their curtains, hope they go away. Like hiding yourselves from the realities, the sometimes dark realities of the world. Closing the curtains, closing our eyes. Well, sometimes you need to see that reality is right there. And it's pressure from all sides coming down around our ears. Stuck in this room without a door, scratched away at the walls for years. All we've got to show is the dust on the floor, and here it comes, a new dark age, in which everyone's shutting themselves in, shutting themselves down, and closing themselves off to things around them. Perhaps even socializing with one another. Like I said, he says, all you got to show is the dust on the floor. A room with no door, so you're not getting out, you're not going out. I catch your eyes before they fall to the ground. We're running out of time, breath, and steam. We're running down. They're burning witches up on Punishment Hill, dying proof in the power of authority to exact its will. So others are suffering while, no one's doing anything. We've broken our fingers, we've broken our faith, broken our hearts so many times they can't be broken anymore. Scratched away at the walls for years. Here it comes, a new dark age. Here it comes. Here it comes. So that's what I think it comes, and through that sort of social isolation, the dark age comes because of humanity. Ooh, I don't know, but either way, this was a fun album to listen to. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys did as well. Let's look at some of the information for the album here. It says, let's see, like I said, released 1981. The album's sound was more polished, like Jeopardy, I guess another album. This one was critically acclaimed, but failed to capture the attention of the public, with the band's fan base limited to a cult following. One single, Sense of Purpose, the second track, was released. The album cover is taken from the 1872 painting Daniel in the Lion's Den by Britton Riviere. It said it's compared to Joy Division's Closer. Despite the sound being posited as a gloomy band, AllMusic wrote, Snake Charming opener winning is like a dash of cold water in the faces of all the bands that were wallowing and withering away at the weeping well. All the alliteration. I gotta say, I don't really think that, at least this album, I don't think it was gloomy, really, at all. I mean, obviously there's moments, but I didn't find it was gloomy. Let's see. Did the single chart anywhere? I don't see any chart information on it. The album was remastered and released in 2002. This release included the 1982 Hot House. Despite frontman's Adrian Borland's wishes that the album should have the same track listing as the original, the song was not included as a separate track, but as a continuation of New Dark Age. There's your answer. There's the answer we were looking for. Okay, so it wasn't really meant to be there. It was not meant to be in the release. And so in that case, it actually has nothing to do with New Dark Age. That's so... Do you see what they did? Adrian said he didn't want that on the album and that the track listings should be the same as the original. So the company said, okay, we'll keep the track list the same as the original, but we're going to sneak this one in as a hidden track in the back end of New Dark Age. Wow, that's something. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed watching, of course, the video. Hope that you guys enjoyed listening to the music alongside of me. Hope you enjoyed listening to me talking about the music and all of that other stuff. I really appreciate you guys being here and taking the time out of your day for what, an hour and 24 minutes, 25 minutes it will be. And, you know, just relaxing with me. So, of course, if you didn't already, please press the like button. If you'd like, you can support the channel and what I do on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. You don't have to, but it goes a long way in helping what I do here. Otherwise, please enjoy the rest of your day. Come back tomorrow, and I will see you all later. Bye.